Hey guys, Dr. Clayton Roach here with Adjusting Attitudes. Today it's video number 2 out of the 3 video series where we're discussing the number 1 problem in our profession, which is poor retention. So in the first video, I talked about the first issue which could cause poor retention in your practice, which is poor care and poor results. And I'm sure you understand now that if you're not getting good results and your care is poor, that at the end that's going to translate in patients leaving your practice and you being left finding the next new patient. Now today I want to talk to you about the second issue that causes poor retention in your practice, and that's a lack of infrastructure conducive to good retention. So what's that infrastructure? Well, it starts with your staff. You guys realize that your patients spend more time, in my practice anyway, they spend more time with my staff than they actually spend with me. So it is imperative that your staff has the same mentality, the same philosophy that you have, because there's nothing worse than you talking the talk at your table, your patient leaves motivated, inspired, only to hear a story that is not conducive or congruent with what you just told them at the table. So some of the problems that I see in some of the practices is that some of you have staff members that aren't getting adjusted on a regular basis. You're half-assing it. You're not doing proper scans, proper exams, proper progress exams on your staff. Now these are the people that are working with you day in and day out, and you don't even have the decency to take care of them like your patients that are paying for your care. And that's not right, because your staff members need to know your procedures. They need to know what you're telling your patients, because you need to talk to your staff the same way that you talk to your patients when they're getting adjusted. So your staff needs to be dipped with your knowledge, and sometimes we take it for granted. You know, we're educating our patients and we kind of leave our staff members there to figure that out on themselves. And really that's not a great thing, because they're going to be saying to your patients whatever they have in their head and how much knowledge they have. So it's your job as a true leader to lead your staff so that they can have great knowledge on why patients should be under care for a lifetime. They need to understand that chiropractic care is not symptomatic care. It's a lifestyle, and they need to live that lifestyle within your practice. So number 1 part of that infrastructure, staff. The second one is a horrible or no day 1, day 2 procedure. Some of you might be taking a new patient, doing a proper exam, going over the results, and then giving them an adjustment the same day. Now, I'm not telling you that there's never going to be a time where you're going to break that rule, but you need to have proper infrastructure, proper procedures where patients are being led down a path from a new patient walking into your practice to a new patient that finally converts as a regular patient, which finally, a year down the road or whatever time frame that you're setting in your practice, that they finally convert to wellness care for the rest of their life. And I'm telling you that the results you will get in the end, which is them saying yes to wellness care for life, is directly proportional to the procedures you have in the first 2 days. Now, some people have, a 3-day procedure. The fact of the matter is there needs to be somewhat of a structure. And that structure includes a proper consultation, a proper examination, neurological, chiropractic, and proper scripting that allows the patient and allows your staff to pre-frame the following visit, where patients come back for what I call a doctor's report or report of finding, and an individual one-on-one, where patients are explaining what's wrong, what you're going to do for them, how long it'll take, and their investment. So that is number 2 on the infrastructure list. So 1 is staff, 2 is day 1, day 2. Number 3 is the all-important doctor report. I can't stress enough the importance of the doctor's report. Now that's done on day 2. What's important in the doctor's report is obviously, part of it is the content. The content will serve as the why behind the what and the do. If there is no why, there is no comply. A great friend of mine, Dave Major, says that all the time. If there is no why, there is no comply. So if patients don't know why they're getting into chiropractic care, they might still get under chiropractic care, but they're going to be very short-lived in your office and then they'll be gone probably as soon as the pain is gone. So the doctor's report is very important. We hold our doctor's report every Wednesday night from 6:30 to 7:15. And what we do is we basically calm their fears down. We make them understand really what chiropractic care is. And I basically nip in the bud all the myths that they might have in their heads. I explain the science behind chiropractic care. And at the end, I basically touch base and I kind of pre-frame the fact that they're probably going to want to do chiropractic care for the rest of their life. And at that point, where I've warmed them up over the 45-minute lecture, they understand why. So it doesn't feel like a pushy sales to them, but I'm also explaining what's going to happen next, which is for me to go over their examination findings, what I found, what we're going to do for them, how long it'll take, and the amount of money it's going to cost them, or what their investment is going to be. So the doctor report is very important, the content and also the pre-frame into what their care is going to be, and you're kind of setting their expectations as well. So number one part of infrastructure is your staff, number two is your day one, day two procedure, and number three is really the day two, but it's so important we call it our doctor report. Make sure that you tell your patients that you want their spouse there, because you're going to be discussing with them very important content, and you want to make sure that their spouse is supporting them, because nothing worse than inspiring a new patient to get home and only to be downplayed, their excitement to be downplayed by a spouse that didn't attend a doctor's report, doesn't understand what chiropractic care is, and is solely looking at your care plan from a financial perspective without the knowledge. Many times you'll get a phone call saying, I'm going to wait to start care, my husband wasn't on board, or they might not even tell you that, and they might not never show up for their third appointment or second appointment. So make sure you get the spouse there. We get about 75% of the spouses there, so for us, we're really adamant about it, and a very important thing for you to do. So first video was poor care, poor results, and in this video we talked about the infrastructure in your practice, which I feel is the number two cause of poor retention, and that is basically your staff, your day one, day two procedure, and your doctor's report. So stay tuned for the third video where we'll divulge the third reason why chiropractic practices fail miserably at keeping their patients.